Welcome back to the frozen sanctuary of the truth, a place where the air is thick with the scent of an invisible, slow-motion spiritual assassination. You have spent years, perhaps decades, believing that the narcissist's frantic search for multiple supply sources was a sign of their supreme power, their unstoppable charisma, or their peak desirability. But today, we are stripping away the glamorous mask of the alpha hunter to reveal a much darker, clinical reality that the predator is desperate to hide from you. We are uncovering the deadly sex supply, the lethal biological and psychological price of their addiction to the hunt. We are answering the big haunting question: what happens to a monster when the very fuel they crave begins to consume them like a slow-motion spiritual cancer? Imagine a high-end sports car sitting in a dark, silent garage, looking magnificent and intimidating, but the fuel tank is being filled with toxic sludge instead of pure gasoline. That is the narcissist immersed in the curse of the flesh. They crave the high of the harvest, but they are biologically and psychologically incapable of processing the energy they steal. The secret plague is the malignant growth of these attachments, a desperate attempt to stay spiritually intubated while their true self undergoes a total psychic collapse. Every new partner is not a victory. It is a clinical extraction of a light they can never integrate. They are junkies of the skin who have lost the key to the soul, and today, we document the moment the supply turns into a lethal poison. Have you ever noticed that strange, vibrating tension in the narcissist's skin, a restless agitation in their eyes that no amount of conquest seems to satisfy? You thought they were winning, but you were actually witnessing a biological system in a state of permanent overheat. The narcissist doesn't want connection, they want a frequency injection to numb the screaming voices of self-hatred that live in their internal basement. They are somatic junkies who have traded their humanity for a high they can never sustain. But here is the secret knowledge: every soul they touch leaves a residue, and the narcissist is becoming a biohazard of unprocessed trauma. They are carrying the weight of everyone they've ever exploited, and the biological debt is finally coming due. The terrible thing about the narcissist's search for multiple partners is that it acts as a spiritual anesthetic that eventually turns into a lethal sedative. They use the act of intimacy as a laboratory to test their ability to impact another human being, but they are spiritually impotent. They are watching a movie of passion while you are living the reality, and this gap between their performance and your presence is a secret agony they will never admit to. They are biological machines simulating a pulse to hide the fact that they are fundamentally hollow. Every new source they bring into their bed is just another layer of static that drowns out the music of their own humanity until there is nothing left but a cold, echoing silence. We are pulling back the heavy, cinematic curtains to show you the internal poverty of the monster who tried to make you feel small. Most people think these predators are invincible gods of seduction, but they are actually emotional scavengers who are cursed to hunt for a high that leaves them more emaciated than before. You were never a person in their eyes, you were a spiritual oxygen tank. They were gasping for air in the vacuum of their own narcissism, and your empathy was the only thing keeping them from a total psychic collapse. But because their vessel is shattered, your light just leaks through them and disappears into the abyss. Today, we expose the secret rot of the man who tried to delete your worth. Let's talk about the secret weakness that makes the predator shiver in the dark. They are addicted to impact, not intimacy. They want to see your nervous system shatter under their control because it gives them a momentary sense of godhood. But the hit wears off in seconds. They are left with the post-intimacy void, a crushing sensation of being nothing in a room with everything. To fix this, they have to pollute the sanctuary. They use shame injections and clinical coldness to make sure you don't feel better than they do. They are vandals of the divine, cursed to be permanent carriers of a spiritual plague that they cannot cure, but only spread. But today, the plague is turning inward, eating the very hands that tried to plant the seed. The narcissist is a somatic junkie who jams your internal warning system with tactile stimulation. They conditioned you to believe that their touch was the reward, the gold at the end of the abuse cycle. But while you were basking in the warmth, they were counting the matches. They were setting the stage for your ultimate isolation. But the big haunting question remains: why does this sexual obsession become their final death sentence? It is because they have traded their soul for a sensation, and sensations have a brutal expiration date. When the sensation stops working, The narcissist is left alone with the one person they hate the most, themselves. The silence of the bedroom is finally coming for them. Do not turn away, because we are about to enter the psychological breakdown of the narcissist's internal famine. We are going to expose the hidden fears that make their hunt for supply a lethal game of Russian roulette. This is the secret knowledge you need to reclaim your sovereignty and realize that your no is a more powerful weapon than any argument you have ever had. You are not cold or broken because you withdrew. You were simply refusing to be a landfill for their internal rot. We are going to show you how to watch the collapse without falling into the fire. The fog is lifting, and the predator is about to find out that the feast is over and the lights are out. The secret plague is simply the weight of their own hollow choices. Most people think these predators are invincible masters of seduction, but they are actually emotional scavengers who are cursed to hunt for a high they can never sustain. You were never a person in their eyes. You were a battery. And like any battery, they intended to drain you until you were dead and then replace you. But the final extraction occurs when the battery refuses to be charged by their lies any longer. When the empath wakes up, the narcissist's world ends. This is the cinematic moment of truth where the predator realizes that the very person they tried to destroy is the only reason they were still existing in 3 dimensions. The collapse is not just inevitable, it is a requirement. This first chapter is your sanctuary of clarity. You have been blaming your depth for the silence in the bedroom, but the silence is the echo of the narcissist's nothingness. They bet everything on the idea that you were too empathetic to see the monster hiding in the sheets. They lost the bet the moment you decided to seek the truth. As we move into the breakdown, remember that their agony is the most honest thing about them. It is the sound of a hollow instrument being shattered by the weight of your truth. Hold on to your breath. We are going to document the ego death of the predator together. The empath is waking up in the lion's den, but the lion is just a shadow on the wall. The plague is real. To understand the psychological breakdown of their deadly sex supply, we must analyze the somatic reality of a body without a soul. The narcissist lives in a state of chronic stress because their false self requires constant maintenance. They are in a permanent fight-or-flight mode, always scanning for supply or threats. This cortisol storm is the silent disease they carry. When they engage in intimacy without connection, they are essentially short-circuiting their own nervous system. They are using their body as a weapon, but every blow they strike against you is vibrating back into their own bones. They are eating themselves from the inside, fueled by a hunt that never satisfies the void. Metaphorically, the narcissist is a source system that has backed up into their own living room. They crave the purity of an empath because it provides the greatest contrast for their waste. If they can pollute someone as clean as you, they feel a triumphant surge of power. They are vandals who target white marble statues. The sexual act is the spray can. They are defacing your morality and your dignity to prove that goodness is a lie. This projection is their psychological survival mechanism. If they can make you feel like trash, they can convince themselves that trash is the universal standard. They are running from the mirror of your soul because it shows them the monster they have become. Their hidden motive for sexual hunting is strategic disempowerment. A narcissist fears a whole empath because a whole empath has boundaries and judgment. By injecting you with shame during your most vulnerable moment, they paralyze your spirit. They leave you confused and self-loathing, seeking their approval to wash away the dirty feeling. This is the perfect trap. They create the wound and then pose as the medicine. You beg for a kind word after the cold extraction just to feel human again, not realizing that the person you are begging is the one who administered the poison. They are predatory pharmacists who only sell addiction, never a cure for the heart they broke. We must talk about the narcissistic void as a spiritual hunger that eats character. When the narcissist is inside your private space, they are scavenging for your self-worth. They take your confidence and replace it with their paranoia. This is projective identification. They identify their own flaws and force you to identify with them. If they feel stupid, they make you feel stupid. If they feel ugly, they make you feel repulsive. By the end of the night, they are wearing your glow and you are wearing their gray. It is a hostile takeover of your emotional state, executed through biology. They are wearing your skin to hide the fact that they are nothing but a collection of stolen, broken parts. Imagine a drowning man who pulls his rescuer underwater to stand on their shoulders for a breath of air. That is the narcissist in the moments of intimacy. They don't want to swim with you, they want to use you as a platform to stay above their own self-hatred. Their spiritual impotence makes them heavy and sinking. They clutch at your empathy with a death grip. Their injection of their shame is the final push that sends you into the depths while they climb out looking dry and victorious. This is the terrible truth of their intimacy. It is a life exchange. They are living off the drowning of your identity. They are survivors of a shipwreck they caused, already looking for the next boat. Their internal chaos is a static storm of internalized voices that mock their every move. The narcissist is cursed to be their own worst critic. To silence the voices, they must make you hear them. During the act, they channel that internal criticism toward you. They might mock your body, criticize your performance, or withhold affection with a smug smile. This is somatic sabotage. They are handing you the gavel and ordering you to judge yourself. By focusing on your flaws, they escape the searchlight of their own internal judgment. They are hiding in the smoke of your self-doubt, praying that you don't look past the insult to see the sniveling coward who is actually delivering it in the dark. Let's look at the metaphor of the vampire as a biochemical reality. Narcissists feed on the hormonal surge of your submission. They want to see the oxytocin in your system turn into cortisol. They crave the moment the love gaze in your eyes turns into the panic gaze. This chemical flip is the real deadly danger. It is the point where your high-vibration peace shatters into low-vibration anxiety. The narcissist drinks this discord because it matches their internal frequency. They cannot survive in harmony, they flourish only in chaos. They are vibrational scavengers who have unlearned how to create, so they can only destroy. Your pain is the only thing that makes them feel real. The narcissist is a frequency parasite who jams your warning system. They use the tactile pleasure of the skin to muffle the alarm bells of the soul. This is biological gaslighting. Your nerves are singing, but your spirit is screaming. The narcissist deliberately creates this dissonance to exhaust your intuition. If you cannot trust your feelings, you are lost. They are scrambling the compass of your moral identity so you don't notice you are being led into the dark. They are keeping the lights off in your conscience so they can execute the theft in private. They are the burglars of the spirit, and they've been living in your house for years, stealing the valuables while you slept. There is also the projective identification of their own disgust. Deep down, the narcissist finds human vulnerability and physical need to be repulsive because it reminds them of their fragility. They despise you for wanting them. They view your love as a weakness they can exploit. This loop of hate is the syringe of the hidden plague. Every intimate act is a punishment for existing with a heart. They are beating the spirit through the medium of the flesh. They walk away feeling superior because they remained cold while you became warm. They are ice observing the melting sun, and they find the warmth of the light as an insult to their frozen, dead kingdom. They are cursed. This psychological breakdown reveals that the bedroom is a clinical disposal site for the abuser's internal failures. The terrible thing is that they convinced you that the smell of the rot was your own. As we move into the dramatic turning point, you will see what happens when the empath refuses the injection. You are going to see the power shift from the injectionist to the sovereign soul. The shame is about to splash back on the one who created it. Prepare to seal the vessel. The predator is about to find out that the trash can is full of mirrors, and the light is coming back with a vengeance. The deadly sex supply loop is ending, and the cure is your total, icy indifference. The dramatic turning point arrives in the dead center of a performance that no longer works. It happens when you are lying there, observing the narcissist's mechanical efforts, and suddenly, the fog inverts. You see the calculated nature of the touch. You hear the hollow echo in the sighs. This is the psychological plot twist. The shame stops entering your system because your awareness has changed the permeability of your spirit. You have found the internal seal. The power snatches back into your center with a silent, violent snap. You have stopped being a vessel and started being a witness. The predator can feel the sudden drop in temperature. They are finally losing the heat of your supply. Watch the narcissists panic when the needle of their influence hits a wall of ice. They can sense the change in your frequency instantly. They will double down on the theatrics, trying to force a response through aggression or fake tenderness. They are frantically trying to reinsert the syringe of their shame because they cannot carry the rot themselves for another second. But you are not moving. This lack of response is psychological kryptonite. The narcissist starts to feel obvious. They feel small. The predator is exposed as a pathetic junkie begging for a fix. Their alpha mask is cracking, and the sniveling child underneath is gasping for air in the vacuum you've finally created. This is the moment of internal sovereign alignment where you realize that the shame was a foreign body injected into your identity. You stop viewing yourself as dirty and start viewing the narcissist as leaking. You hand the shame back in the silence. You refuse to process their toxins anymore. The narcissist sees this radiance of indifference on your face and it triggers their annihilation anxiety. They need your submission to feel real, and your peace is erasing them from the room. They are fading into the shadows of their own nothingness. You are solid light, and they are becoming a ghost. The power has shifted from the one who hunts to the one who is finally, irrevocably, found. Detail the narcissist's desperate pivot. When seduction fails, they reveal the monster nakedly. They will belittle your body, mock your intimacy, or discard you in the middle of the act to trigger your fear of abandonment. This is strategic cruelty, the final attempt to rehook the trauma bond through pain. They want to see tears because tears are a sign that the injection is still working. But the healed empath labels the tactic in real time. Oh, they are trying to make me feel small. The truth is the shield that shatters the syringe. You look at them not with anger, but with a clinical, detached pity. You have seen the wizard behind the curtain, and he is a very small, very broken man. The plot twist deepens. The bedroom cruelty becomes the final proof you needed to exorcise the ghost. 4 years, you stayed for the fake tenderness, but now the true rot is visible to the naked eye. The fog has evaporated into a sharp, cold winter of clarity. The narcissist senses your detachment and they realize the host has become toxic to them. They will attempt a hysterical hoover, a sudden, manic burst of theatrical romance to rehook the supply. They might cry and beg to be cleaned by your empathy one last time. But you see the wires. You see the stagehands. You recognize the play, and you are no longer in the audience. You are the one walking out. They attempt a malignant discard to save face before you can formally exit. They announce to the world that you are the problem, that you are broken, that you are repulsive. This is a psychological confession of their own internal decay. They are trying to rewrite the history so they can be the victim in the next bed. But you are relieved. You accept the discard like a lethal promotion. You watch them walk out and you feel the density of the room lifting. The parasite has detached because the injection site has healed. You are free. The morgue is closed, and the living are finally leaving the building for the light of a new day. You are the survivor of the extraction. Show the shift in the energetic signature of the bedroom. The moment the narcissist is gone, the space sanctifies. You strip the bed, you burn the sage, and you open the windows to the cold air. You realize that the intimacy was actually spiritual pollution. Now that the weight is gone, you can breathe into your whole spirit for the first time in years. The shame has evaporated with the predator. The narcissist is already pacing the perimeter of a new victim's life, trying to load the syringe again, while you are sleeping in the silence of your own presence. The bed is no longer a place of theft, it is a sanctuary of rest. The cycle has been broken by the power of your no. This is a psychological shift. You forgive the vessel for absorbing the rot. You realize that your body was just trying to survive a toxic spill. You nurture the flesh with self-respect. You realize that the relationship was a dark ceremony that forced you to find your internal sword. You thank the trauma for breaking the mirror and revealing the sovereign. The empath has graduated from the school of false intimacy. You are no longer exploitable. You are vibrating at a frequency that predators cannot match. You are sacred ground. You are impenetrable. You are solid light, and the predator is just a shadow that has lost its source. You have survived the trap, and you are immune. This is the moment of total detachment. You look at the past and you don't feel pain, you feel physics. You see the mechanism of the transfer. The narcissist is a name you barely remember. They are a minor malfunction in the great machine of your evolution. The turning point is absolute. You are inhabiting your own life with an intensity that is terrifying to the weak. You are steady. You are solid. You are home. The power shift is complete. You are the master now. The injection has failed. The narcissist is distant static on a radio you've already turned off. You are walking into the world with a marrow that is richer and stronger than it ever was before the predator arrived. As we move into the collapse, remember, the narcissist depends on your reflection to stay three-dimensional. By withdrawing your submission and your reaction, you have deleted their existence in your universe. They are going to panic. They are going to burn their own world down to get your attention. But you are no longer the firefighter. You are watching the fire from the high ground, safe in your sovereignty. We are about to witness the total internal collapse of the abuser as they realize that the empath they groomed has irrevocably reclaimed their soul. The end is brutal, but it is necessary. The void is eating its host, and the host is finally, irrevocably alone in the dark. The collapse of the narcissist is a spectacle of absolute void. When the empath stops absorbing the rot, the narcissist's false self shatters from the internal pressure of its own nothingness. They experience narcissistic mortification, the psychic death they've been running from since childhood. You will see them acting out with manic recklessness. Their lies become screams. Their mask is melting like acid on glass. They are choking on the ash of their failed intimacy. They are frantically trying to find a mirror that doesn't show the monster, but the whole world is becoming a mirror. They are crushing under the weight of their non-existence. They are a signal without a station. Their social consequences are swift and public. As the recovered empath moves through the world with quiet dignity and icy indifference, the narcissist's smear campaign evaporates into the stench of desperation. The truth has its own gravity. People start seeing the pattern of the withered victims the narcissist leaves behind. You are the witness who survived the autopsy. The narcissist is losing their grip on image. They are exposed as the energy predator who needs a reaction to feel powerful. They are isolated in the biohazard they created for you. They are locked in a mind that hates the quiet, and now the quiet is the only thing left. They are finished, and the plague is theirs. The internal panic of the narcissist becomes a manic screaming for new supply that no longer exists in your space. They look for you in every face they exploit, but no one can reflect the God image you once gave them. They are starving for the high-grade empathy your sacred energy used to provide, but the pharmacy of your soul is permanently closed. They realize, too late, that they killed the golden goose. This regret isn't love, it's hunger. They hate you for being happy without their permission. Every smile you have is a stab to their ego. They are fading into the darkness of their own creation. The light they used to steal is now a wall they cannot climb. Watch the harsh truth of their new life. They look old. They look gray. They look brittle. The life force they stole from you has expired, and they have no internal reactor to generate more. They are cursed to repeat the same loop with lesser and lesser souls until they draw their last breath. They are trapped in a body that is closing down, haunted by the memory of the one who got away and found the sun. They are obsessed with the fact that you don't care. Their rage is turning inward, eating the last of their humanity. They are a signal without a station, an echo without a voice. They are the definition of irrelevance, and they know it. The darkness is coming. The tone here is brutally cold and analytical. The narcissist is a parasite that underestimated the sovereignty of the empath. By moving on physically and spiritually, you have executed the predator. They are the walking dead, carrying the corpse of their own ego. They hate you for surviving their sexual warfare. They hate you for being whole in a world they told you was a killing flaw. Every breath of peace you take is a poison to their delusion. They are collapsing into the center of their own nothingness. The final discard was yours, and it was lethal. You have signed the death warrant of the trauma bond, and the ink is permanent. The plague has returned to its sender. Internal panic leads to pathological stalking of your happiness. They analyze your every post, searching for a sign of pain, a sign of return. But they find nothing but strength. This strength is traumatic to the narcissist. It debunks their God complex. It proves they are just a glitch in your evolution. They are screaming from the shadows, trying to cast a spell that your nervous system no longer decodes. They are irrelevant. This irrelevance is the final consequence of their evil. They wanted to be remembered as a god, but they will be forgotten as a malfunction in the machine of life. You are the symphony, they are the static that has been tuned out for good. The social discard concludes with the final isolation. The flying monkeys have woken up. The family has distanced themselves. The narcissist is left alone with the ghost of the one they couldn't destroy. This isolation is the mirror they feared their whole life. In the silence, they are forced to hear the echoes of their own lies. They are obsessed with you because you are the only thing that feels real in their world of shadows. But you are a memory they can't command. They are stroking the air where you used to be. They are nothing. The bed is empty, the room is cold, and the phantom they call self is finally disappearing into the void. The deadly supply loop is complete. Brutally truthful analysis. The narcissist failed because they miscalculated the resilience of the spirit. They thought they could starve the empath, but they only forced the empath to hibernate and evolve. Once you wake up and retain your energy, you are invisible to their manipulation. The narcissist is a shadow that cannot exist in the presence of your internal truth. They are disintegrating. The secret plague was your incubation phase, and you have emerged with new skin. You have inverted the trauma into power. The narcissist is a broken tool. The fire has burned away the parasite, and only the diamond remains. You are the victory, they are the debris on the floor. Intensify the collapse. You watch their disintegration with a sense of sacred justice. You don't feel vengeance, you feel order. You see that the world is actually safe because you are the one who defines your reality. The narcissist's rage is a distant noise that no longer reaches your frequency. You are healing at a speed they cannot match. You are living at a depth they cannot reach. The collapse is the final closing of the narrative. The monster is dead, and the village is celebrating. The end is brutal and permanent. You are the sovereign one. The morgue is a museum now, a place you visit only to remember why you left the dark. The predator is finally, clinically, nothing. As we enter the final truth, look at the ruin of the abuser and realize, you are the final truth. The rot was just the shell of your evolution. You have found the key. You have opened the door. You have walked into the world and the world recognized you. The final truth is cinematic, empowering, and saturated with radiance. The collapse is complete. The sunrise is internal. You are free to build a world where predators are nothing but ghosts in the distance. You are the one. The agony is theirs. The light is yours. The secret plague has been emptied, and you are finally breathing the air of a world that is clean, clear, and infinitely yours. We have reached the final truth, the cinematic closing where the hooks of the past are melted by the heat of your presence. The final truth is this: the shame you felt was not love, it was the smell of a dying spirit that was not yours. You don't feel empty because you are full of your own radiance. You have realized that the narcissist was never your soulmate, they were your exterminator who accidentally ignited your true fire. You have used the ash to fertilize your garden. You are the master of your own energy. You are clean. You are radiant. You are finally, irrevocably, yourself. The plague of their influence is gone, and you are real. Emotional closure comes from the absolute knowledge that the narcissist never existed as the person you loved. You were in love with a reflection of your own empathy. Today, you have taken the reflection back. You are closing the case file on the predator. You have realized that their hate was a badge of honor. A being of darkness will always hate the sun. You accept the hate as proof of your magnificence. You are validating yourself by the fact that you can breathe, you can dream, and you can love again. The verdict is innocent and sovereign. You are the one who survived the extraction, and the marrow of your soul is now a shield that no predator can penetrate. You are free. Healing is the cinematic slow burn of presence. It is the feeling of the ground under your feet, the sound of your own voice telling the truth, and the sight of a future that is unwritten and safe. You are reprogramming your nervous system to expect beauty and respect. You are learning that empathy is a spiritual superpower, not a sentence. You are finding your soul in the stillness. You are building a life that is so authentic and so powerful that the memory of the narcissist feels like a B-movie you watched in another lifetime. You are the director of your own reality now. The lens is sharp, the focus is clear, and the story is finally yours to write. The silence is yours to fill. Empowerment is the quiet strength of the empath who refused to stay defined by the predator. You have seen the bottom of the abyss and you brought back the fire. You are unshakable. The narcissist's screams from the shadows are just background noise in the symphony of your life. You have changed the frequency. You are tuned into the voice of the universe, to the pulse of the earth, and to the truth of your own value. You have reclaimed your power, and you are using it to heal the world. You are a warrior of the light. You are whole. You are here. You are the evidence that the predator failed. You are the living proof of resilience, and the light is permanent. The final line is being written in the light. You are part of a global awakening of sovereign empaths who are refusing to be supply. We are collective strength. We are spiritually invincible. The narcissist's obsession with your energy was the last stand of a dying parasite. The age of the predator is ending. The age of the authentic is beginning. You are a pioneer of the soul. Your voice is a siren of truth for others who are still shaking in the dark. You are calling them out of the morgue and into the life they were meant to live. The bunker is open, and the war is finished. You are the light that lead the way home, and the darkness cannot comprehend it. Imagine the final scene. You are standing on a mountain peak at dawn. The wind is blowing through your spirit, cleansing the last traces of the abuser's shadows. Below you, the dark valley of the narcissistic trap is dissolving in the light of the new day. Above you, the sky is exploding with colors you can finally see again without a filter of shame. You are whole. You are complete. You are indifferent. The narcissist is a name you can barely remember and a face you no longer recognize in the crowd. You breathe in the clean air of sovereignty, and you never look back at the morgue. You are the sun rising over your own kingdom, and the day is finally yours. Cinematic closing imagery. The narcissist is now a distant ghost, stalking the ruins of a mind they tried to burn but only succeeded in tempering. They are screaming at the wind, begging the dust to become the host again. But the dust stays dust. You are flesh and blood, you are light and fire, and you are moving at the speed of joy. You have found your tribe. You have found your peace. You have found your soul. The sexual suffering of the survivor was the cocoon of the warrior. The credits are rolling, the theater is empty, and the light is permanent. You are the masterpiece that the predator couldn't destroy. You are the victory, and the story is complete. This is the final truth deliverance. The narcissist tried to kill the empath spirit because they were terrified of what would happen if the soul saw the fraud and became sovereign. They wanted to keep you as their internal battery, but the battery exploded into a sun. You are magnificent. You are unstoppable. You have won the game by walking off the field and taking the ball with you. You have ascended beyond the manipulation. You are the truth, you are the way, and you are the life. The noise was the fog, and you are the clarity. The ghost is gripless. The secret plague is empty. You are the only reality that matters now, and the sun is finally up. Reclaim your space. Reclaim your voice. Reclaim your right to walk the earth with confidence and dignity. The sexual killer, the psychological parasite, and the emotional arsonist have no power here in the presence of your light. You are generating your own frequency now, and it is a frequency of freedom, justice, and radiance. Use it to warm your own life. Use it to create beauty from the ashes. Use it to love deeply with others who vibrate at your level of truth. You are a generator of universal light, and the grid is restored. You are absolute. You are the master. You are the light that the darkness could not comprehend, and you are home. The narcissist's deadly supply is the biological debt that eventually consumes its own host, but your victory is the radiant health that begins the moment you finally stop being their currency. Go forth and inhabit your life with the intensity that was meant to be yours all along, because the light was never theirs to keep. The act is over, the mask is shattered, and you are finally, irrevocably free.